Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with the Pastor. I'm Pastor John Woodin, and this is a ministry of Hollywood Faith Christian Center in Hollywood, Florida. We welcome you. We're going to start today in Psalm 16. You will show me the path of life. In your presence is the fullness of joy. Now, that means that no greater joy exists than being in his presence. It says a fullness of joy. There doesn't exist anything that compares with that. But God told the Hebrews, enough, I'm not going to give you my rest. In other words, there's something left out of the finished work. You're not finishing your work. You're not going to be able, you can take your Sabbath, but it's not going to give you the rest and refreshing that you need. David warns in Psalm 95, David warns, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion, as in the day of trial in the wilderness, when your fathers tested me. They tried me, though they saw my work. For 40 years I was grieved with that generation. It is a people who go astray in their hearts. And he ends with, so I swore in my wrath they shall never enter my rest. David is warning the people of his day that this is a possibility that they will be excluded from his rest. Hebrews chapter 4 continues, for if Joshua had given them rest, he would not afterward have spoken of another day. For as he entered his rest, he has himself also ceased from his works. Again, the finished work of the cross. We have to look at it and say these are completed works, and they can step back and rest. Joshua said, but take careful heed to do the commandment and the law which Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you. In other words, you could get in trouble too. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, God will take away his rest. Now, after the exile to Babylon, the Shabbat takes on a more spiritual intent. There's no sacrifices. Remember, there's no temple. Temple has been destroyed, the first temple, by Nebuchadnezzar. No sacrifices, no temple, no longer a rest from our labors becomes a reason for rejoicing. So they're singing and dancing as part of the Shabbat, not merely a religious activity or something we have to do, but something we desire to lay our heads on the breast of Jesus, or we get close to God. John 13. It talks about that John the Beloved, now there was leaning on Jesus' bosom one of his disciples whom Jesus loved, and Simon Peter therefore motioned to him to ask him of whom he spoke. Well, now this is Jesus about to reveal his betrayer, and John leans again against Jesus. Now the question becomes, how close do you want to be to the Lord? You want to be part of the 120 in the upper room? That's cool, that's great. Maybe you want to just be part of the 12 of the disciples of intimate relations with Jesus. Or maybe you want to be just part of the 3, Peter, James, and John, who always were with Jesus when tough situations were coming up. Or maybe you would want to be like John the Beloved, laying your head on the chest of Jesus and hearing his very heartbeat. I think I know which one I want. I hope you would choose the same. God bless you. See you again next time.